What's up guys, OBF back here, back again with another Vans review. Today I have a pair of Taka Hayashis off the Vans Vault line. This is the Sk8 Midsole LX, colorway is leather total Eclipse. These are size 12 and these retail for $140. Starting off the box here, this is the same box that we saw with the Huarache pack. This is this season's Taka Hayashi box. It's this really nice, like really light olive color. You have the feather graphic on the back there, nice details throughout, as we would expect with a Taka Hayashi shoe. And then of course you have the dust bag. I really like this season's dust bag with the stripes. It's really cool. These released at the same time as the Huarache pack did. This was a collection of 3 Sk8 midsoles. There was this total Eclipse color, a mustard color, and a really light gray color. There was also a 4th color to release, which was a Sneaker Box exclusive. Sneaker Box is a boutique up in Canada. They released a special edition version of the shoe, which featured a different material combination. It had a canvas here in the back, and then it had a suede in the front. And it was like this really washed black color. It almost looked like a brown. And the entire shoe was in that color, the midsole as well. It's definitely a sick shoe. It was pretty limited though. I think it was only like 15 pairs, I want to say, something like that. It was super limited though. But this was definitely my favorite shoe in this whole collection here, this total Eclipse color. I'm a huge fan of blues when it comes to Vans. It is my favorite color. And I finally got my hands on these 12s. They were very hard to track down, so I was very happy about this. The Sk8 midsole here is a very unique design. It is a Taka Hayashi design, obviously. It's the first time that they've released this model, and it's a combination between a Sk8 mid and a midsole. It may look like a midsole from afar, but when you really get up close to it and you notice all the details, the fit itself, it's definitely a hybrid of the two shoes. More so a midsole, but nevertheless does have some aspects of a Sk8 mid. I'm not a fan of midsole, so I was a little taken back at these when I first saw the pics of them. I wasn't too excited about them, but once I finally saw these in person, when I went and picked up the Huarache eras, I really knew that this was definitely a shoe that I wanted to cop. Very similar to a Sk8 High in the look from afar. When you get up close to it, it's not really that much of a mid-top shoe. It really does feel like a high-top shoe to me. It pretty much has the same silhouette as a midsole, but there are some small features on the shoe which make it more so a Sk8 mid. The toe box being one of them. It's a little bit longer than a midsole would be. It does have this toe cap on, which a midsole has. But the back half is also different in that it has this one-piece construction here for this suede, just like a Sk8 High or a Sk8 mid would have. Jazz stripe's a little bit different as well. It's I believe it's a little bit higher in the peak. I'm not exactly sure, but when you look at the two shoes, it's definitely something weird about it. Moving on to the collar here, this is pretty much like a midsole, pretty standard, as well as the eye stay. Moving on to the materials of the shoe, on the toe box here, we have this really nice suede. It is pretty much just like the Huarache one, where it's a really short-haired suede. It pretty much feels like a nubuck. But as you can see, there is a discoloration when you brush the hair aside, so you know that it is suede, which is very, very short-haired, really nice soft suede. You have that suede here on the toe cap as well as on the heel portion of the shoe. On the heel here, we also have these triangular patterns, just like we saw on the Huaraches. It really seems like Taka kind of was going with the same theme with both of these shoes. Moving on to the rest of the shoe here, we have this really nice buttery suede. Not suede, buttery leather here. And we see it in the total Eclipse color here on the mid portion, and then you have these small accents in this kind of like a bone color. It's really nice, also in that same leather. The total Eclipse part has this really nice gloss to it. As you can see, it's pretty shiny. And if you can see past that, you see this diamond pattern here. This is probably the most notable part of this shoe. Very unique, very cool. Almost looks like a chain link fence. It's like this quilted looking pattern. Very cool. You also have some similar design on the insole here, kind of looks like a chain link fence as well. I don't know if I can pick it up in this light. There we go. It's in the black and white color back there. Pretty cool. Moving on to the tongue of the shoe, we have that same leather, really nice leather, super soft. And that's also in that bone color, along with these thin waxed laces here. Moving on to the inside of the shoe, you have this, I believe it's a similar leather. It's not the same leather here underneath the tongue here. This one feels more like a pigskin leather. It's a lot softer, and not just because of the padding, but the leather itself feels really soft. And you have that same leather here for the inside on the heel area. Basically that leather is in the entire inner part of the shoe up to about right here. And then this is all canvas in here. You got your Taka feather logo here on the tongue with a checkerboard in the background. And then behind the tongue here, we have Vans Taka Hayashi, also with the feather logo. On the footbed, it's the same footbed that we saw with the Huaraches. So you have the Vans Taka Hayashi feather logo, and then off the wall some 66. And this is in like that Widow's Peak pattern where it has like that point to it. Leather sewn back insole, also in the pigskin leather. You even see that same design here on the outsole, where you have the total Eclipse on the toe, and then on the heel you have the gum, which is a really nice touch. No surprise, Taka with the attention to detail on these shoes, it's just crazy. Every time I get a new Taka shoe, there's just so many more details on it. The guy really puts a lot of work into these shoes, that's for sure. Moving on to the midsole here, this is probably my favorite part of the shoe. I really like the whole cut here on the mid portion, which I know he's done before, but this is the first time that I've got a shoe that had it. You have the diamonds here in the middle, and then above and below it you have like this kind of like a wave. It looks like a Greek pattern, which is really nice here. You got the Vans Taka Hayashi logo on the heel, and then on the toe bumper here we have this herringbone pattern with these really deep vertical cuts. Really nice look. This midsole here I believe is in the same color as the Jazz Stripe, like that bone off-whitish color. It's a really nice color. Piping is the same color, nothing different there. One unique part of the shoe that you only see on a Taka shoe is this little point here. I don't know how to describe it here, but I really like this part because when you do wear these shoes a lot and they start to crease, you're only going to see the creasing right in this area here, and the toe box being in the suede, it's going to be a really nice subtle creasing here right in the middle. So I can't wait to see how they come out. I really think that it's going to be a great design to prevent the creasing. We'll see, or to prevent the look of creasing, I should say. Moving on to the extra laces here, we have these blue laces here, and they're a little bit brighter than the total Eclipse color. Once again, this is pretty much the same color that you see for the Huarache Airs. I know that I keep comparing the two shoes, but they are very similar in their design. Ortholite insole, of course, a very comfortable shoe. These do fit true to size lengthwise, of course, and then in the toe box here there is a little bit of extra room. I'd say about a quarter size bigger than normal. Take that as you will. You can go a half size up if you really needed to, or I should say half size down. One thing that I really loved about this shoe when I picked it up is that it's a lot more narrow than I thought it would be. Being a mid-Skool, I would think that it's a little bit bulkier, but this is a super narrow shoe for being a high top or mid top or whatever you would call it. It's a really nice shoe. If you guys plan on picking these up anytime soon, you should probably get on that pretty quick because these are selling out. This, like I said, this size 12 here in this blue colorway was almost impossible for me to find, since I waited about 2 weeks or so after these dropped to pick them up. This blue colorway is the most sought after one as far as I've seen so far. There are different materials used on the different shoes. I believe this one and the light gray one have the same materials used, where they have this nice buttery leather here for the mid portion, and then of course the suede on the toe box, while the mustard color one had a nubuck here instead of the leather, which is why on the box it says leather. The other one would say nubuck, the mustard colored one. So they are different. The different colored shoes are different in materials. I really do wish they would have used the nubuck on this one, because I really liked how the nubuck came out. Sorry about the lighting, guys. But nevertheless, this leather is definitely really clean. Like I said, it's super soft, definitely a quality leather. Just an awesome shoe. This is probably going to be on my list of top 10 shoes for 2014. I'm almost positive that it will be. Great shoe. Well, I hope you guys like this review, and be sure to stay tuned for the on feet.